Hi, my name is Ahmad Faiz and I'm from BA 2512 and I'm about to talk about Chapter 6 of Finance 430 about Finance of Mathematics. First of all, we are studying of the time value of money where different time equals different value of money, such as the 10 ringgit before 3 years ago we can buy the 10 stuff we did in 10 ringgit, but nowadays in 2026 in 10 ringgit we can only buy 2 or 3 stuff, which is it shows that different time is equal to different value of money. Now we are going to the simple interest versus compound interest. What's the difference in it? Okay, simple interest is the money that only can be received in a principal, while on the compound interest is the 2 period time that can be happen. First period that interest on principal added first period is interest on investment added to principal, while the second period is interest earned on the new stuff. Okay, now we are going to future value where amount that will grow to certain number of years when compounded at specific rate. There's a two formula method, which is formula method that we can calculate, which is formula method and table method. First, for the formula method, we can say is the future value equals to present value in bracket 1 plus I in the close bracket in the end, which is future value equals to present value, and in the bracket 1 plus interest rate, annual interest rate, and the end is the number of the years. Okay. Now we are going to the table method, which is for the future value, which is future value equals to present value, and on a bracket future value interest factor, and close the bracket within I and n in the square root of it. Okay. Now we are going to present value, which is reflects the current value of future through the payment or receipt. That still have a two payment method. That have a two calculate method, which is formula method and table method. Now we are going to the formula method, which is present value equals to future value in the bigger bracket 1 divided by 1 plus I in the small bracket, and then square will be n, and close up the big bracket n. Okay. Now we are going to the annuity, which is equal dollar payments for a specific number by years. Okay, now we are going to, there's a two, which is compound annuity and present value annuity, which is for the compound annuity is deposit or investing and equal sum of money at the end of each year a certain number and make it allowed to grow. Now we are going to the present value annuity, where it's all about pensions, insurance obligation, interest owed on bonds are all annuities. Now we are going to the annuity due, where annuities due ordinary annuity when all the payment have been started been shift forward by one time period, so it will be shift to the one time period. So now we are going to the chapter 7, which is working capital management. First of all, we're talking about working capital, which is it refers to the firms. It can be current asset, and which is it can be cash, inventory, and current receivable. Now we are going to the net working capital, which it defines the remaining of the current asset after all the current liabilities are paid. Which is, if you want to there's a calculation about it, which is current asset minus the current liabilities. Now we are going to the current working capital management, which is it is a process of managing of current asset and current liability using the guidelines that firm that has been stated in a work capital policy. Now we are going to the type of asset in a working capital management approach. There's a three, which is first they have a type of asset which is temporary current asset, permanent current asset, and a fixed asset. Now we are going to the approach where I can call it as there's a three. It can be conservative, hedging, and aggressive. First, we are talking about the conservative, which is it is the lowest risk if it compares to the other two, and it's a fixed asset, permanent current asset, and a part of temporary of a current asset for a long-term financing. We are long-term financing. Now we are going to the hedging approach, which is it can be known as a self-liquidity approach, where for the temporary financing, it's going to the temporary current asset, and permanent financing is going to be the permanent asset. Now we are going to the aggressive approach, which is there's a more risk for using short-term financing to support most of the current asset where it finance all fixed asset and part of permanent current asset with long-term financing. Now we are going to a policy that has been covered, which is current asset investment policy. There's a three also. There's a first real policy, which is from the low risk we can get with a low return and it maintains a large amount of current asset. And another one is moderate policy, where moderate risk with moderate return and investment on current asset at minimum level without any sacrifice. So current asset is in bare minimum level. Now we are going to another policy, which is restricted policy, which is a high risk we can get high return and current asset will be reduced to the minimum of the state. Thank you.